clean the house.
No.
Okay.
I thought.
Because I know. I know. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, go.
Should we,
Yeah, let's turn that up.
how do I?
All right, guys. As we're all gathering, we're gonna officially start the meeting in a few minutes, but first, Tina's gonna explain this slide right here.
Here's the slide.
This is why we hired. She's so good with detail.
Yeah. So every team meeting that you go into, and actually any training that you attend at Keller Williams, there's always going to be a QR code. They are around the room, but we ask that you scan it and then check in to that you have been here. We're just wanting to keep track of like what you're attending. It helps us with our E&O insurance. And so this is going to be a new thing. So if you could just do that, that would be fabulous. And then secondly, and I know it's going to come a little bit later in the team meeting, but we do have a new Keller Williams Facebook page, and I've been trying to invite you guys to it. We had a previous page kind of lost ownership, so we've created a new one. So if you guys, when you're in a team meeting, if you want to check in to KW on your social, it obviously helps your own social, helps our social. Let's get social. So if you can just do that. And I think that the slide for the new KW Keller Williams forward facing, meaning to the public page. So the KW MSW one is still the same. It's just going to be the forward facing one to the public.
Is that shared with Lake Country and?
So it's a Keller Williams, just Milwaukee Southwest page.
Oh, it is.
Yep, it's just specifically. And so we've got content on there that's forward facing for both consumer and like why they should use our agents, and then also for agents, obviously from like, what are we doing from an agent to help agents grow their business? So it's dual faceted. Diana has some series on there based off of different podcasts and books that she's reading and listening to, and things like that. And if you guys ever have any ideas of what we should be on there, I'm open to them as well, because I'm the one who's kind of managing all that right now. Okay, so just make sure, and again, if you're here for any training, we're going to get these QR codes more prominent in the room, but any training that you attend, whether it's PC, homegrown pepper, a special training, anything like that, if you could just check in, that would be fabulous. Okay, thank you. Thanks.
Okay, and now we're gonna officially start the meeting. So y'all start talking a little bit, because this is what normally happens. Shawnee, if you could come up, please. We have a guest gonger today. You're gonna be introduced to her a little bit later, but this is Shawnee Laverne. We'll hear more about her, and she's not familiar with the guest gonging. So
I'm supposed to hit this thing.
oh yeah, okay. You got. Good work. I love that. And also, Harrison, what are you wearing there?
I baseball.
Okay.
Honestly, I was last place in the office league. so,
Okay, well, that's a good, do you have to wear that every day now until the next office league?
I mean, I could. I mean, it's
Awesome.
true until then. It is true. It is true until then. I
Awesome.
think I might have just like upped the punishment as opposed to just having this. I think
You might have.
upped it and
You
now
might have, yeah.
Where it's the team meetings.
Okay, well, good lesson for everybody else in the room. Good lesson. Thank you, Harrison. I love it. Looks great. All right, you guys, we've got a lot to cover, and we're gonna start with exactly what Tina was talking about. We do have a new Facebook page. So we are really trying to help showcase the work that you do to other real estate professionals in the area. So this is going to be.
Can you go back to that slide?
Oh, sure. Maybe. I don't know. You guys are asking a lot. Woo! There we go. All right. New page, Keller Williams, Milwaukee Southwest. You should receive an invitation to that if you haven't accepted it already. You guys are doing amazing things, and we really want to showcase that in the community. There will be education pieces, as Tina discussed. Certainly, I'm always reading 3,000 books. If you want my reading list, you are welcome to it. It will be up there. And if there's content that you'd like to see there, please let us know. We really want it to be something that reflects the very vibrant culture that we have here. So it's a growing process and it's a we thing. So Tina's spearheading that. So make sure you're in touch with her. Good? All right. And we've grown a little bit. So super excited to welcome these three here.
Yay.
Yay.
So Amy Jankin, Amy, are you in? I think she's still meeting with Kathleen. Oh, no, she's not, because Kathleen's here. Amy is the new admin for the Chris Ruskowitz group, which is amazing. Jennifer Mackis is back with us. We're very excited to have Jennifer with us. And Valerie Otto, who I saw her on Zoom, she transferred over from EXP, so she just joined us last week as well. So super exciting.
And we've had other interesting partnerships we're going to learn more about next week. So keep showing up for that. It involves a relationship with Madison. So super excited. And of course, we begin every conversation here with our mission, vision, values. And today it's a little bit of an internally focused conversation. I would like to take the opportunity to raise up the 2023 ALC, the group of leaders who shepherded us through last year. So if you were on the ALC last year, if you could come to the front and just kind of stand here and be awkward, that'd be awesome. Come on up. Come on up.
The awkward part.
Come on up. Kathleen, you want to start handing out stuff? Okay, so as this group is making their way up there, if you don't know what the ALC is, I want to take just a few minutes to share what these people do and why they're part of this. You have to look over here. These folks sign up to spend the year, all year. This is what we've dealt with all year. These folks sign up to spend the year with us, with the leadership of Keller Williams across the area, with me, to help us build our presence here. So they're focused on three things and they commit to this for us. One is certainly profitability. So we've all heard that you can grow a big business. We know plenty of people who grow a big business who are frankly broke, right? These folks need to have a good business sense and they commit to developing that business sense. So congratulations to that. They're also engaged. If you look across this row right here, these are faces that you see every day in our market center. They are running committees. They are engaged in communities. They are teaching. They know many of you. They've spent one-on-one time with you. They spend one-on-one time with me. They are committed to us as a community. So like invaluable. And then the last thing they do is commit to growth, both personally, which really excites me. I'm a big believer in that your business grows to the extent that you do. So we talk a lot about what happens when you get stuck and how to get unstuck and grow beyond that. We talk about your business growth. We talk about the growth of this market center and kind of the growth of their business in general and what that can do for you. So those are the three things that these people commit to. We have a little thank you gift for them. I did want to call out too, this year particularly.
Oh, look at that. You get a big one.
Get the gold one.
What?
Gold
Thank you.
Hey, you guys, thank you.
Thank you.
Let me just hand it back right away.
They don't see for a year, and you kind of don't know what's gonna happen in that year. So I just want to call out, this group committed to sight unseen, being part of this leadership. So this last year, they brought out a whole new leadership team, me included. We integrated all of us and became an us because of the commitment that they had to this market center. It is rare that new leadership comes in, that we don't lose, we don't contract a little bit. And this market did not contract. Our business did not go down. Our market center grew. It's because of what these guys did and their commitment to us. I'm a little choked up. Oh, wait, how did we get there? Well, I don't know if I believe that. These are results, right? The results that we've had is because everybody in this room took advantage of some of the behind the scenes things happen that these guys drove. New productivity program, we shared with them what we were doing and they kind of gave us information on, do we like that? Do we not? How are we going to go? One of the other things that they did that was really, really huge that does not happen every year is that they provided feedback to a vote that completely changed how the company runs. Keller Williams International brought a profit share conversation to each of the ALCs and said, what are your thoughts on how we disperse profit share? Because of their commitment to profit, we will now see more of that staying within our company and given to those who actively help us grow the company. So while for many of you, it may feel like, oh, it's just one more thing, wait, ALC is coming up. How am I going to build and grow and make time for this? Because you have to take time out of your very busy schedule. You guys did an awful lot for here. And I just thank you. For me personally, you are released from your responsibilities. You are done. This group is unforming now. Thank you very much. You can go back again.
Thank you.
We will be
Sure.
introducing the new 2024 ALC very shortly, so be on the lookout for that. The last thing they do is provide a voice for everybody in this room. If there's something that you don't feel comfortable talking to me to or talking to one of the leadership team about, these are your people and they will bring it to a group conversation and we'll explore what that means. We truly are an agent-led organization and I can't thank these guys enough. Okay, good. All right, moving on. The next thing we're going to talk about is other communities that we see. This is the group of people that you just saw up here in small pictures. So there we go. I would like to ask Abigail, Sharice, and Zach and Shawnee to come up to the front. The ALC is one of the communities that we are in the Market Center. There are other communities. There are other communities that agents can be a part of, right? And these four here represent three of the communities that we're going to be talking about. Last week, we started a little bit with the serving community. If people are interested in that serving community, this lady here is somebody who you can talk to. Catherine Gorel is somebody that you can talk to about how to get involved.
Abigail as well.
And Abigail as well. You guys are everywhere. See, love
We're
this.
multiplying.
Multiplying. Well, let's go ahead and start with Abigail, actually.
Yeah,
She's up here representing.
KWYP, Keller Williams Young Professionals.
Okay.
I joined KWYP probably in February of last year, so I'm almost a year in. I think in reality, like you can figure out what you want from every community, like they all have so much to offer. For me, it was just finding like-minded young individuals who were driven. You know, our office is younger, but not very represented. Like we have probably a few people in here under 30 or under even in their 20s. So that's been my most beneficial aspect of it. It is like a paid per month. I think
It's like 30.
yeah, about like $30 a month. I just went to 2 like launches. So Keller Williams Young Professional, each city or state has chapters. Like Florida, I think has like 8 chapters. We just have 1 here in Wisconsin. It really just slims down your referral network too. So if you are figuring out, hey, there's thousands of people in Florida, like how do I slim that down to a smaller percentage to get in front of the people I want to find? Because in reality, like we don't want to just serve everyone. We want to serve our ideal clientele. Like I know who I want to serve and I want to find other agents who have similar clientele. So that's my benefit from it so far. I am on the board of our Wisconsin chapter, so is Chelsea. I know a few of us in here are members of YP. If you have any questions about it, I'd be happy to talk more. I know I'm going to a family reunion and family reunion is so big. So it's like, who do you talk to? Well, it slims it down again. So it's easier to find your people within the big group of people. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
absolutely.
So am I right to hear, Abigail, the impact that this group wants to have is to help young professionals get into business quickly and grow
Absolutely.
their business that they desire?
And it's not just young people. I guess I should preface that. To be on the board, you have to be under 40, but there's plenty of members who are 60 and under and around that. Yeah, 60.
Young at heart. We're all young at heart.
That's right.
It's all good. Awesome. Thank you. So that's the Keller Williams community that we have here within our 4 walls. We have one other new one that's starting. Zach and Sharice, you guys want to chat about this one?
So, yeah, I'll start. So we're literally like starting this today. So there'll be an email sent out or like with the notes, how to sign up for it. But Keller Williams has had a subgroup for like the LGBTQ plus communities called Keller Williams Rainbow Network. I met with Hunter McNair, who started the group last year at Mega Camp. So we don't talk about going to major events like meeting people who influence you. And I talked to them, oh, you know what, I know there's a lot of people who are allies or who are identified who would be part of this group. It would be great to bring that to my market center. And I said, like, you know, as soon as this starts up, I'll definitely sign up. And he said, like, well, don't wait, just start yourself. Like, well, I'm not, you know, part of the community. It's like, but you're an ally, right? I'm like, well, yeah. He's like, well, just start yourself. Other people will join you. So here we are. And I asked Sharice to help me out with this because I know that this is also a cause that she feels really passionate about. And, you know, we've both done fundraisers for Courage MKE and other causes. So to us, it was just like, okay, it's just natural to have that kind of community represented in our market center as well. And it's not just about just like for agents who identify as, you know, part of the LGBTQ community. It's also just like joining as allies so that you can serve people who are in that community. Certainly I've had lots of clients who are part of that community. It just allows you to be better about serving them and meeting their needs.
Absolutely. No, I would just say be patient with us because we literally over the Christmas vacation got all squared away with the applications for this and being accepted and all of those things. And so now we're coming back. We're just kind of getting our bearings on the ground. And even though we're spearheading this, it's very new to us. So as far as the actual KW Rainbow Network goes, and so anybody that wants to participate or join or be a part of this, I mean, you're really going to be spearheading it with Zach and I, because we, you know, this is ground floor stuff, right? We're kind of building this from nothing to what it could potentially be in the Milwaukee market. And so we welcome everybody, whether you are part of the LGBTQ plus community or not. We need allies as well as advocates and just more people out there who want to ensure that there's fair representation and equal housing available for these types of groups. So we welcome everybody. And Zach is going to be sending out a Google form.
Yeah, we've got a Google form sign up that's going to go on the team meeting notes.
Yeah, so if you'd like to be,
Post the group, et cetera. So.
yeah, so, and we're gonna have a lot of fun, trust
Yeah.
me.
Oh, no.
Can imagine.
Yes, we're gonna have a lot of fun. And
We're already
so,
talking about like going to the Pride Parade. So.
well, there will
We
be,
have to have.
yeah, we will have representation in the parade this year. So yes, please fill out the Google form if you'd love to be considered for this or just want to be a part of this, and we'll kind of go from there.
So thinking of impact again, you guys, not only are we increasing referrals and increasing the helping us identify who we can talk with, right? Some of the communities really specialize in providing information and advocacy for different groups. And I think this is a great example of one of them, just in terms of understanding what different groups go through and how to help them best achieve the dreams that they have, whether you identify or you're an ally. So this is, and amazing leadership opportunity to start a community from the ground up. So congratulations, love that. And then lastly, we have a community that's represented. It is not a former Keller Williams Realty International community. This is a homegrown community that started just in our own North Shore office. And I keep hearing wonderful things about it. Ms. Shawnee's here to talk about what she's doing and why she got started. And I wanted to make sure y'all knew what was happening there because it's pretty exciting. Shawnee, you want to talk about what you do FTC wise?
Hi, everyone. My name is Shawnee Levine. I am in the North Shore office, and FTC, or For the Culture, is a group of Black agents that come together and meet every first Friday from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. This was started basically for the need of Black agents feeling included. We do know that at one point, we understand redlining, but at one point, Black agents weren't even allowed to be realtors. And we weren't allowed to have access to the MLS. So that didn't start until like the late 60s, early 70s, when we got the right to have that. And so now we have Black agents who are agents who still by natural default feel unincluded or feel like they're on an island. So we may have Black agents who show up who may not speak, may shy away or may not show up at all. So this was made in hopes that more Black agents show up so that we can get more information, because we know we don't show, we don't know, and then we don't grow. And the communities that are affected are ours in our sphere, and they won't buy homes because we're not agents. So we have this every first Friday. It's a different type of educational meeting, engaging, empowerment. It's very awesome. The community has grown. It started back in September of 2022, actually. So we've been doing this consistently every month, and we don't just have people at our brokerage. We have people come from different brokerages because they don't experience this type of community where they are. And ironically, people have joined Keller Williams simply because of that community. Carly was one of them, and which it meant a lot. So, sorry.
It's a meeting of tears today, Shawnee. It's all good.
I love that.
It's all good.
Yes.
It's all good.
We just want to stay engaged and we want to stay empowered.
Okay.
And this Friday is first Friday. I cry. I'm like Charlie. I cry.
Hey, totally.
My husband's retired too, okay.
So this first Friday is really exciting. It is Black History Month, and we actually have the lovely Angela Walters, who was the first Black president of GMAR, coming to be on a panel to speak on being the only Black person in certain settings and how we want change, we have to change it. We also have Char Borg, who's with Compass. She's coming in attendance to speak as well because she does a lot of high volume deals, and we want to change the ASP of Black agents because of course that will help us stay in the industry as well. And making more money shouldn't be an anomaly to one person. We just need to hear stories from other people that look like us in hopes that we can change that. So I say that to say I appreciate, being here, I guess, today, and I'm excited. And if you guys know of anybody who are at other brokerages or may not showed up today, invite them, first Fridays at the North Shore office.
Awesome. Shawnee, thank you. Love it. Awesome. So this to me, you guys, is an example again of amazing leadership and the reality that all of the stuff happens because you run a big business, right? These guys come in and they do what they do, and they're teaching you how to run a business. They're changing their financial futures because they understand, or they're learning about what it takes to run a business, and they're bringing their heart and soul to it. And I think that's an amazing example of the impact that all of these leaders are having. And this is why I wanted to do this today, right? There's so many ways to connect and have impact. That's our word of the year, is impact. And if this did not move your heart, find what does and connect and impact the community around you. It's so much bigger than real estate, and real estate is the foundation upon which it all moves. So run your business really, really well, and then find the people around you that you can invite into the conversation and help them live a big life. Okay, thank you guys. I really appreciate it. Okay. So just 2 quick slides on this. If you wanted to take a quick QR picture of the KWYP information, this is up here. This will also go out in the notes later. You can connect with that. We have a slide for the Rainbow Network if you're interested in that. And the Rainbow Network is within the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion group. So you'll see that one as well. Okay. All right. Now we're going to get into compliance. So I'm going to bring Dawn up here.
Really cool stuff. So a couple of updates for you guys. So just wanted to, some of you guys might have seen, Chris Ruskowitz asked some really, asked for feedback to pass along to MLS about our experience so far with Aligned Showings. She shared all of that with Jared. They did confirm at that time that they're going to be extending the amount of overlap time. So if you have been using Aligned Showings and you're not loving it, you can always go back to using Showing Time. There's a spot when you enter in a new listing to say which service you are using. So you can use Showing Time while it's still available. We know it'll be a few months. We don't have a definite end date. But we will make sure that when we hear that it's going away, we'll make sure that you have notice for that as well. So no surprises. Any questions about that?
Yeah.
Yes.
So if they use showing time, are they gonna be able to click in on MLS like you used to, or no?
That's a
You
good
can't
question.
now.
I would have to ask MLS for sure. But like if you've got the app or if you go to the showingtime.com website, I don't know that you will, I don't know how active the link is in the MLS listing itself. But yeah, any other questions about that? All right, MLS, you guys all know, because you're people who show up and do business, that you have 48 hours to enter your listing into MLS. Just a reminder that, you know, in that time period, let's say you have a listing that started on Monday, you have until Wednesday at the same time, 48 hours exactly to have it entered in. In that time period in between when you sign the listing and it's active and the time that you've entered it into MLS, there are agents out there who are using that time to maybe show it to their own buyers because you have an active listing contract, finding a buyer that is in-house. So if you know a different KW agent who is looking for something like that and it's not an MLS yet, you can still show it. So other agents and other brokerages are using that time period to make the most of marketing offline. So if that's something that you're thinking might be a benefit to your sellers, something that might be of interest to them, utilize that list of KW coming soons to let people know what's coming up. That it's on the website and that's emailed out weekly by Willis. So any questions on that?
Just so it's clear, that 48 hours includes any of the normal marketing you can do. So like you can post pictures online.
Yes.
You can.
Yeah, once you have an active listing contract, you can market it. You can put the sign in the yard. It just doesn't have to go into MLS until that time period. Last update for you guys. Actually, I think I have 2 more slides. So there's a couple of form updates. WRA sent out an email. They have updated the addendum O. So it's going to be updated in zip forms automatically. We'll get a new copy into DocuSign, Nicole. So just know that it's going to include a more logical flow of the provisions, so that when you're walking through it with a client, it makes more sense. There's a new section that's added to describe an optional removal deposit enforcement process. So there may be like a security deposit, something that's put down where the client or the person who doesn't have occupancy, person who does have occupancy would get that deposit back when they move out on time. Just to have a guarantee for the person who owns the house that, you know, if they don't move out, you have that money that you'll just be able to keep. The occupant could lose that deposit if they fail to surrender possession to the owner.
Where does that get kept, the deposit itself?
That's a good question. I will take a look at we'll take a look at the form. So it's brand new. WRA just emailed that out yesterday. Have you seen it? Okay. I was gonna say, and then just a heads up that we're gonna have a new ABA disclosure that Sarah actually just emailed out right before the team meeting today. So that email just came out. There's been a couple changes just with fees for Focus Title. So they changed a couple of prices. So we just have to make sure our form matches that update. Yes.
Is that effective date today?
I'll take a look at what Sarah just emailed it out. I haven't even looked at it yet. Okay. So anything going forward to sign, that'll be updated in, we'll get it updated in zip forms right away. Any questions about any of that?
Well, I would have, make sure
Yeah.
you make that penalty high enough, like if you put
Yes.
$100 a day, somebody might be like, I'll take you up on that, like.
Yeah,
for the
it's worth
hotel.
it for me. Yeah,
So put like 500 a day or 1,000 a day, something that's. like,
really gonna
compelling.
keep them out. Yeah, it's a good point.
ADA is February 1st.
Okay, thank you. February
Really?
1st.
One comment kind
Yeah.
of close to that. It's not for occupancy, but it's like you put a deposit down so that when they're gone, everything is supposed to be the same or whatever.
Mhm.
And I've had a couple incidents recently where the security deposit's like $200 or $300 and the sellers are just saying, screw it. I'll let them have the
Yep.
$300
Thank
and
you.
not moving this crap up.
Yep.
I just had a whole house full of furniture these people left behind last week.
And
so.
the idea behind this is to reduce the amount of post-closing lawsuits. So make,
Well,
yeah,
there's not much you can do with some furniture like that, but.
Yeah.
I had someone else bring it up to me. I said, we'll do no less than $1,000.
Smart.
For 2 days.
yep. Yes,
It might be helpful to get clarification on best practice because it just says the deposit shall be held by,
I'll find out.
and there's no like automatic if you leave the blank.
Okay, yeah, we'll find out. That would be good to have clarity on that. Any other questions? My pleasure.
Oh, you, Charlie. Look who we brought to town. Mr. Wheeler.
Sweet,
Sorry.
yeah. I like it. Shawnee, that was probably the loudest gong hit I've had in a while. Cool, sweet. Guys, thanks for being here. Full house. So a couple things I just wanted to touch base with the group on. Last year I pitched this and I was actually, quite frankly, honestly impressed the amount of people from our community that showed up. I think I gave this group like 48 hours notice, maybe less than a week notice about an event that's kind of near and dear to my heart. But I sit on a task force for Axe Housing. If you don't know what Axe Housing is, they take a variety of different approaches to help close the homeownership gap in specifically southeastern Wisconsin. And they do it through a variety of different ways. One of it is through home buying, coaching, and consulting, and helping people get their financial affairs in order to get into becoming a homeowner. And the way that I'm actually involved with it the most is 2-3 years ago, they started this fund. They got $100 million and they're calling it the Acquisition Task Force Fund. And what we are tasked with doing is within a certain amount of time, the goal is to acquire 100 homes a year. Okay. And if you know this or don't know this, there was an interesting fact that made me get involved in leveraging what it is that we do and how we help provide avenues of opportunity for people. There's certain zip codes in our communities that over 2/3 of the housing stock is owned by out-of-state investors, right? And they're holding on to this stock, which is preventing people from changing their lives through what the pathways that we all provide, which is homeownership. And so they basically created this fund, $100 million to acquire 100 homes a year. Our first year, which was 2 years ago, we acquired 12 homes. Last year, we acquired 37 homes. This year, we're ramping up to acquire 75 homes in the hopes of like this recurring 100 to 200 homes a year that we can purchase, rehab, and then resale back to members of our community so that we're putting members of our community back into the homes to help bridge the gap on some of the, demographic metrics that aren't in favor. But the other thing that's really, really fascinating about this and why I'm sharing this with you is when you look at home ownership and when you have someone who owns their home versus rents the home, and then the metrics associated to like health metrics, crime and safety metrics, the impacts it has on the schools, all of that's dramatically improves when you have neighborhoods that are owned by people that have a vested interest in their neighborhood or community, right? And so next week on Tuesday, February 6th, which unfortunately is during this team meeting. However, if you so moved, I'd encourage you to join us. Last year, I think we had like 54 people, Tanika, right? Like I think you were there. I know Amy Trumpberger, if she's here, she was there last year with us, a variety of other people. Really cool event, a lot of key stakeholders within the community and the state that talk about how we as a community can help people not only become homeowners in our city, but then what it is that the city is doing to make sure that we're helping bridge the gap to help make an impact in our community. So that's next week. It's totally free. Lunch is provided. It's at Marquette University. It's a great educational experience. It's a great learning event. It really, especially for someone like myself who, look, I'll be the first to admit it. Like, I grew up in a very different environment where I had access to a lot of opportunities. To me, and educating myself and how some people within our community don't have that same access that I do is a way that I can then learn how I can help leverage our platform or leverage our scale to help people within our communities. Because I'm a big believer in like rising tides lifts all ships. So it's a great way for me to stay grounded as to not losing sight as to some of the issues that our community has. Right. So encourage you. I'll be there. It's next week, Tuesday, Marquette University, Eckstein Hall. Really cool people. But I just wanted to pass that on there. If you're interested, move to participate. So this was last year's event. There were 300 people in attendance, a variety of key stakeholders within the community. It was great. I mean, it was a very engaging dialogue, really made me think as an individual and a person. So would welcome anyone from our community that would like to attend. Feel free to sign up. Cool. I have two key things for you today. Okay. One is to get you to think, right? And the second is to help you understand how we're leveraging our organization and a platform to help enhance what it is that you do through the GMAR and the MLS Association. And I'll get to that in a second. So, but this is a lively group and usually a very participatory group. So I need your help, okay? And Nate, I'll call on you first because you're always the most willing participant. What's your listing goal in 24? Yeah, yeah. What? 20 homes? Perfect. Individually, 20 homes, okay? Jeremy, what's your listing? Your personal goal or your team's goal?
36 listings for me.
36 listings, okay. Shipley's?
55 for the team.
Okay, 55 for the team. Cotter? 20, okay. Alex?
Listings for me, 15.
Perfect. Anybody else want to throw theirs out? 35? 30?
50 for mine.
50? Okay. Now, those that shared, are those big goals for you in terms of a stretch, like they scare you, or they're attainable, or where do you feel about the number that you chose? Attainable, okay. And there's no judgment on that. It's just more so, just a question.
It's a pretty big stretch.
Okay, big stretch. You said how many? 50, 55, 50?
50. But that's one agent.
Cool.
Aggressive.
It's aggressive for you? Perfect. All right, so now I have a question for the group. Anybody have any idea what 25,191 represents?
The number of steps the Shipleys took at Disney.
That would be in one day.
In one.
Good. What else?
Sales around here next year.
Close. New listing inventory that came to the market in 2023. It's 25,191.
That single family and condo.
Yes,
It's family.
yes.
So Nate's gotta do like 0.1.
Okay. Sharice, you said yours is a big stretch. Dan, I think you said it was attainable. Nate, I heard you say it was attainable. Some people said it was big, right? Put your goals in perspective as to what the market has. And for perspective, last year was the worst year in residential real estate on a per sides closed transactions since 2008.
That's good.
Right? So if you think your goals are big or too big of a stretch or whatever, you got to keep the perspective is there was 25,191 units that came to the market last year. The majority of you are trying to do less than 50. And I bet most of you are really happy if you did 20, right? And so my point in sharing that is, the question is whether the Jean Grecos are going to get it, or Pat Gotter's going to get it, or he's going to pick up a listing, or Catherine's going to get it. Is someone's getting one of the 25,000. It's either you're getting it or your neighbor's getting it. And most of you are only trying to do a fraction of what the total market holds. Now, similarly, what is 39,628? Huh?
What's projected for 24?
Good guess.
39,000.
Total closed transactional units in 2023. There's, let's just say 40,000 transactional units in southeastern Wisconsin. Now, again, the question I pose to you is, how many are you trying to do? And if you frame it from the standpoint of what the total universe is, because most of you are willing to travel to do any deal, am I wrong?
Oh,
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of business to be had. Okay. And so my point to it is this: if you follow the arc of where we've been the last 4 or 5 years, okay. And if you follow the arc, and the arc is 2019, it was where it was, 2020, it was rising, 2021, the market crested. Okay. Then 2022, the market started to come down. It was around down 12 to 15%. And then last year it was down 14.7%. Okay. And they're projecting the tide to rise slightly in 24. So my question to you, knowing that there was 25,000 listings or roughly 40,000 closed units, is this. What does your trajectory look like? What did it look like? What trajectory have you been on? If you're still sitting here, congrats. I've said this to you at this room before, like you survived because 25% of the industry didn't last year. If you're still sitting here, you did something right. And what was your trajectory and what is the story you're telling yourself? Because you have absolute performance or relative performance. And I'll get to more of that in a second. What's the outcome of your leadership? Leadership is simply something that was supposed to happen that was not going to happen because of the decisions that you made and the actions you took. And what's the impact of your leadership within your business and your life? Okay. Are you changing your trend? Quick raise of hands just for personal anecdotal stories. Who had their best year ever in 2023? Okay, perfect. Nate, Dan, Ben, Dan, sorry, Nate, Dan, Alex, right? They were able to have their best years ever, no matter what the market threw at them, because they made it an intentional choice. So with 25,000 listings and close to 40,000 units, my 3 questions to you are you done? No, because you're still here when 25% of your peers got out, right? There are 25,000 listings. If you look at that number and say you can't achieve your goals, we have to fix you. It's true. Like if you look at that number and you say, I can't achieve my goals, or woe is me, or their rates were rising, I can't get it. No, we have to fix you to help you find where it is that you're doing your business. And you have to pick something big and go after it because there's plenty of business. Now, my question to you is, a lot of people pontificate on their goals. And quite frankly, a lot of people have a lot of bullshit hot air that they spew. And to me, goals are standards. Standards is the minimum level of expectation that I will deliver. And when you live and breathe of the minimum expectation that you will deliver, Nate, I'm going to pick on you for a second because you've been very open about your goals the last 2 years, and you talk about it on LinkedIn and basically like a tally every time you have a closing. He's basically creating positive affirmations about where he is headed, and he has achieved them. If you just look at his trajectory over the last 2 years, despite the fact that the tide was receding, he didn't fucking care. He just said, I'm going to go get it. This is what I'm doing. This is my standard, right? And I'll share with you a quick story. Okay. Anybody in this room know a guy by the name of Ted Kellner? No? Okay. Ted, very quietly in Milwaukee, I don't really know his net worth, but I'm just guessing it has to be close to $1 billion. Okay. He owns a company called Fiduciary. They have real estate assets. They have investing. They do a bunch of stuff. Anybody big Wisconsin Badgers fan? Yeah. Okay. Tanner. The athletic department is called what? It's called Kellner Hall. He just donated $25 million to build a new football facility. Uber successful individual. Okay. The reason I share that with you is this is a really good story. A friend of mine works directly for Ted. Okay. And I was having beers with Jonathan a couple weeks ago. And I said, Jonathan, how did Fiduciary do last year? And he said, well, we were down X. And I said, Jonathan, that's great. The market was down Y. Right? And he said, you must be mistaken. And I was like, what do you mean? He goes, I work for Ted Kellner. Ted believes in absolute performance, not relative performance. So my question to you as it relates to your goals and what is available within the universe in 24 is, are your goals a hope so goal, or is your goal a standard in which that you will perform from my absolute performance? Because the world is big enough, it's just determined based on what it is that you want to do and how you want to go get it. Make sense? Cool. Second thing for you is very quietly for the last year, I've been working behind the scenes to make an impact and make change within our industry. Okay. And I don't talk about it a lot because I've learned that the more I talk about what I'm trying to do and change, I actually sometimes I set myself up for failure because people hear it as a promise. And if you know anything about working with the GMAR, Jeremy's very well versed in it, or the MLS, it's like working with politicians on Capitol Hill. They talk a lot, they pontificate a lot, but not a lot gets done, right? And I share this with you because there are things that I'm trying to do for you that will enhance how you serve your clients, but this is my like full disclosure moment. This is what I'm doing. I'm not sure what I will be able to do can get done. However, there was an event that happened on Sunday that a very successful agent in the North Shore posted something that she was able to circumvent the MLS. And to her credit, really simply to her credit, she's been working on this for 2 years. She was able to do it. And she was able to get her website to syndicate all company listings that were delayed. And she was celebrating it and using it as a marketing ploy. And I probably had 25 phone calls on Sunday afternoon asking, how is she doing this? Why is she doing it? And really, to her credit, like she's trying to blaze the trail, which I'm trying to get right behind her in her wake to help get done because I think it's an important initiative. And the reason why I'm sharing this with you now is so that you can understand where I'm trying to leverage our scale as an organization to help enhance what it is that you do. Okay. And so here's my rationale for what it is that we're trying to achieve. And I'll share with you my 4 points for a big meeting that I'm having on Wednesday. One, and the reason I'm reading this, full disclosure, is I can sometimes fly off the handle a little bit and say things that I shouldn't say in a public forum. So I'll read it so I don't get in trouble. 3 key points to my rationale. In the age of agent empowerment, we need to ensure that we're providing realtors with all the necessary tools to enhance their ability to deliver on their fiduciary responsibilities, all of which should be standardized in the industry. Okay. 2, in the age of consumer empowerment, we need to ensure that all consumers have access to all relevant information relative to the market so they can make the most prepared and informed decisions. 3, agents have the ability to weaponize certain loopholes within the system. So let's close the loopholes to even the playing field. That's my rationale behind what I've been trying to push with GMAR and MLS. Okay. The reason I'm becoming public with it is because someone is forcing our hand and now we're amplifying our intensity and frequency of the message. And we're going to apply a little pressure to these guys to see what we get done. Okay. And I'll tell you, because I've been on a lot of emails, Jeremy has been pushing some of these things for years to the point that he was threatened by the MLS to shut up, right?
Cease and desist.
Yeah. So here's the 4 strategic priorities that I'm pushing. Okay. 1, allow for individual agent IDX feeds. Okay. Why is this important? Couple things. 1, Milwaukee is one of only 2 major metropolitan markets that doesn't allow individual agent and IDX feeds. It's Milwaukee and Pittsburgh. Okay. If Houston with 25,000 members and Chicago with another 22,000 members can figure this out from a compliance standpoint, our little market with 5,000 members should be able to figure this out. Okay. The empowerment that this provides you gives you direct data feed from the MLS that allows you to lead capture in a way that you should be able to, and a lot of agents have found a way to circumvent. I think that this should be standardized for all. I think it should be taken out of control of the broker and put into the hands of the agent and allow them to build the biggest as they want to. Okay. 2, syndication of delayed listings. There's 2 major reasons why this should happen. Okay. 1, and this has always been Jeremy's point, he shouldn't be sitting at a soccer game on a Saturday morning going through the hot sheet while he should be paying attention to his family. And 2, and I know everybody in this room has probably had this. You were busy doing something personally or professionally. A new listing pops up. A couple hours went by, you weren't able to check the hot sheet. And all of a sudden your client found out about it through a different avenue and you looked bad because you didn't inform your client first. Right? Creates a lot of ethics problems. It creates a lot of morals problems. My argument is let's provide some professional and personal balance, empower the consumer. Okay. 2, the second piece of it is I think there's a very valid argument as it relates to fair housing, that everyone should have equal access to the opportunity to the data. And that by providing the data directly to the consumer when the data becomes available, eliminates the need for us to have to scurry around like mice trying to get them the data when they need it. But there's a lot of times when someone works in a manufacturing job, they don't have access to their phone, they don't have access to the internet, like that hinders their ability to effectively move forward because they're waiting on you to provide them the information. I'm saying the consumer should be empowered to have the information. Okay.
Don't they get that in an auto email?
No.
Not the delayed, but just everything else you were talking about as far as a new listing comes out and someone's not seeing it, you don't have the time to send them from the hot sheet, other than delayed. They get everything else instantly.
But delayed is becoming more and more. It's a bigger and bigger thing, which I actually think, quite frankly, if you're not using delayed, you're doing your listings a disservice. That's a whole nother dialogue, but
And I found out that agents don't, they don't look at the thing on the top where it says showing start this day. I've probably had 8 texts in the last 2 days. When do showings start? It's in MLS.
yeah. 3, place standards around the 48-hour loophole. I know Dawn kind of talked about this morning. Here's my personal belief, and this may ruffle some feathers in this room, but I believe it's the right thing to do. If you have the ability to go spend $6,000 to $7,000 on a full-blown marketing package and go live with that marketing package before you have it in MLS, that is in direct violation to clear cooperation. That rule is a completely 35-year antiquated rule. I believe if you have a full-blown marketing package, you should have the day you go live with your marketing is the day it should go live in the MLS, so everyone has access to the information. There's a lot of valid arguments as to why that should be. And there are peers of ours in our industry that are weaponizing the 48-hour loophole that I think is could cross a lot of ethical bounds. And then 4 is I'm pushing that you guys are aware of is I'm pushing on the functionality of aligned showings. There are a lot of valid reasons why we need the market to transfer to aligned showings, and yet aligned showings is not running at the capability that you need it to run your businesses at the highest level. And so I'm pushing on them as it relates to the functionality to the platform in order to elevate how the platform can work for you. Make sense? Question?
Who vote, like, did they vote on that? Shows?
Yep.
Like every member did?
No, the board.
I know, I didn't choose.
No,
Like,
no.
I would-
Not anymore. What's crazy is that they were actually using it in Utah and Arizona the way it was supposedly.
Yeah.
Like it's laughable.
So there's reasons for it. The aligned showings thing's a whole nother topic. Yeah.
Word aligned showings. I just want to thank Chris Ruskowitz because she got a great dialogue going on Facebook. A lot of valid points were brought up, a lot of discussion, a lot of things. So that was really nice. And then she took it upon herself, you know, to meet with the powers that be to try to get our questions answered. But I know I was on a lot of the Zooms and Jeremy was speaking up months ago about some of these things. And
Yeah, you'd always say, oh yeah, we'll get that done. We'll
Yeah.
look into that.
and it never changed. So kudos to everybody that's trying to get it fixed because right now it's not a product that we can use.
Yep.
You know.
Totally recognize that. The concern was February 1st was the original cutoff, that you wouldn't have access to showing time anymore. So the pressure being applied worked. So I share that with you again. This is stuff I've been working on in the background, but I wanted you to understand how as an organization, how we're aligning in order to help enhance what it is that you do through the GMAR and association and leveraging our scale to put a little pressure on these guys to enact change. This now, full disclosure, this is my personal opinion. Change is slow in this community because part of the change goes directly in the inverse of some business models that our peers have that does not benefit their business interests. And so their business interests are getting in the way of making the right decision for the agent, and which is why some of the change is slow, which is why we're pushing a boulder uphill. But I wanted you to know where we stood as an organization and why we're pushing back on some of these things.
We still have somebody on the board?
No.
No, we don't have it.
Well,
Nope.
I mean, Marine is as a broker, I think. For one.
Yeah, Maureen's involved. I was involved in their strategic planning process. There are ways that we can get involved because of our scale. I have a big meeting this week, Wednesday, that I'm directly pushing on these 4 items. I was aware of a closed door meeting 2 weeks ago, and I sent them my thoughts on this in the fall. I sent them my thoughts on this in advance of the closed door meeting, and then they finally replied, let's have a meeting. I said, right, come on. And I said, I'll tell you exactly why I think this and why some of these things are in direct violation of some of your rules and policies. And a lot of it has to do with fair housing, clear cooperation, standardizing practices for all agents. Like, I'll just tell you right now, because I know there are those in our environment, I know a way around how to get everybody an individual agent IDX feed. It costs money and it costs resources, but there are agents who have them. And we know the ways around it, but I don't want to run around that anymore. I want to say, look, if you want an individual agent IDX feed, you should have an individual agent IDX feed, and you shouldn't have to do this run around that's a backdoor process. Right? So that's why I'm pushing on it. Cool. And any questions, I'll kind of give you an update as I'm able. Some of this strategically I can't, but I wanted to get this out into the public space so that you guys knew. For example, the 25 phone calls I got on Sunday. I was trying to let them know that I was actually already working on this, and it wasn't the impetus of what happened on Sunday. But then when Sunday happened, I was like, screw it. Here we go. This is what we're doing. So cool. Sweet. Feel free to hit me up with your thoughts, opinions, or if you totally disagree with me, like, I'm open to a dialogue. And Lindsay, for the interest of time, are you on? Or Wooten?
Yeah.
We're gonna,
Lots of updates in command. Come talk.
we'll punt it to next week. Lastly, just because I know I'll finish this up for training and education. February, what do we got? Ignite is going on. For those of you who are in Ignite, it's a great panel. If you want to participate in a few, feel free. APHW, America's Preferred Home Warranty, great service provider, has a lunch and learn next week. MREA Book Club is happening. And Shawnee has FTC on Friday, 5:30.
And our awards, you guys, one more slide. One more. Sign up, vote, agent choice, and come to our awards on Thursday, February 22nd. Gonna be great, right next door. And one more slide. One more. So many things.
No, go back.
Oh,
Okay, so we are rolling out, okay, everybody knows, or everybody should know about Homegrown Capper. That is now, it's going through a little bit of revamp. Obviously, there's 25,000 listings out there, and we need to get all 25,000 of them. So as a result, we have to, we changed the program a little bit. It is now going to be called Kinetic Wealth Achieve. We're gonna kind of do this new Kinetic Wealth and then different levels of it. So we have Kinetic Wealth Investment, Kinetic Wealth Achieve, Kinetic Wealth Ascend. You guys will see that information. However, what does that mean for the people who are in it? It is workshop based. We have changed the program to go from 10 to 11:30. It's going to be like 20 minutes of instruction, and then the rest of the time it is 100% workshop based. You're getting into action. This isn't like a classroom where you're going to sit and listen. This is where you're actually going to be doing work. It is fast paced. Think Wolf of Wall Street with less swearing and less sweating, but kind of like that. Because we know we have to 10x everything we're doing.
What?
This is it. I'm really excited about it. I mean, I'm stoked about it. I have a 52-week curriculum that we built that Michelle and I've done together. Michelle and I are going to be running this class together. If you have interest in being in it, reach out. I know that we've reached out to some people already. It's a commitment, but I promise you, you're going to do deals in 2024 as a result of
This
it.
is our answer when Charlie said, if you're not in business, we have to fix that. And this is part of our fix. So come, if we can't want it more than you, but if you want it, we can get you there. So come.
And just like Charlie said, and I know I've said it in a couple of trainings, like those transactions are happening. It's just other people who are getting them. And that's the important thing to remember. Like those people in your database are doing transactions, so they better be with you. So-
Got it. Awesome. Thank
And
you.
then-
Oh, sorry. Do you want to?
It was up there. Charlotte.
Oh, I changed.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
So it's fine.
There's a ton that's going on in February. We'll dive deep. If you have questions, the calendar is out. Kathleen is here today. Happy to answer any of those. You guys, it's been a packed meeting. Get involved, get in the middle, find your community, advocate, change the world. And who has anything coming that they want to talk about? Pat.
Starts Thursday, Candlewood Creek in Muskego, for $625,000. 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, brand new hardwood floors on the first level.
Nice. Awesome.
So much.
It's in delay.
And delayed.
Pictures will be up on Wednesday afternoon. That's another 20 packs I got this.
When do showings start?
This Thursday.
All right, any other listings, Don?
One bedroom, two bathroom condo, first floor with an attached two-car garage and a unit of laundry. In Oak Creek that just went active today, 225.
Awesome, congrats on that.
There. Rolling Meadows.
Listings? Yes, Dan.
There's two, one that actually just went live, a commercial building, mixed use retail office in Madison. 10,000 square feet, half of it is finished, half of it is not, 1.15 million. And Tiffany has, next week going, actually, Friday going into the lake.
Yep.
What is it?
It's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath remodeled, down in Kenosha. List price is probably gonna be $399. We're working on numbers today.
Nice. Good get. Outdoor Dreams, anything? No. If you guys have any land referrals.
Might have what we call a pocket listing in Avoca, which is just south of Richmond Center. 162 acres, remodeled, 4 bedrooms, 2-bath house. Probably gonna be right around 1.5. So.
Wait, did you say house?
Set up, and
House?
there's a house on it.
Crazy, crazy. All right, awesome. All right, you guys, thank you all for your attendance and your attention. Go, you are released to the wilds. Go take on the world. Have an amazing day. Make it count, make an impact.